Currently, we're in the middle of a pandemic and people have a lot of time on their hands. And so for a criminal, they also have a lot of time on their hands. Fraud is a cyclical crime. It occurs more frequently, typically, around the times when people are moving money. So given the fact that we're in a pandemic, most people are at home, they have a lot of time on their hands, and now we're approaching the holiday season, fraud is occurring, and it's costing a lot of people a lot of money. Some of the common frauds that we're seeing are, I'm going to start off with one of them. We call it the sweetheart scam. This is where you go onto a dating website or a dating application if you're using your phone and find what you think is a match. Another scam that goes on is somewhat similar, and it's called the Grandchild Scam. We call it the Grandkids Scam. That one is a scenario where you're at home, the phone rings, you pick it up, and you may hear something like, "Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Mom. It's your son, daughter, niece, nephew." They'll pick some sort of relation that you should know, and what they're hoping is that you're going to provide the name. The sweetheart scam, obviously, they're going to provide a name to you, but the gist of both of these scams is they're trying to convince you that A, they're legitimate, and B, they need your money because they're in a situation that is embarrassing, that they don't want people to know about. But they're going to ask you to give them money so they can fix the situation. Another common scam is the official scam. This one, and we had a session of it earlier here in the Valley where people called and said they were Sergeant so-and-so with the sheriff's office or Officer so-and-so with the IRS. They really weren't. Another common one that we have is the lottery, the Publishers Clearinghouse. Typically, it's some sort of lottery is the case that comes to me, where somebody will tell you that you've won the Las Vegas International Lottery. And all you have to do is send them the tax money. And obviously, and I have worked a case where I got to see this played out in its entirety, and it cost the victim over $100,000. What's critical to all these scams, whether it's the sweetheart scam where they're telling you you're the love of their life, but they need to get away from an abusive current boyfriend, significant other, the grandchild scam where somebody's calling you and saying, "Grandpa or Grandma, I got arrested and it's really embarrassing, don't tell Mom." The official scam where somebody calls up and says, "I'm with the IRS," or the lottery scam where supposedly you won the Florida International Lottery. What they really want from you is your money. They're trying to convince you you have to act now, this very moment, to get this situation resolved. Money has to get from me, the victim, to you, the scammer. And that's where we get some of our critical tells. Number one, if somebody tells you to send money via Western Union or MoneyGram International, at that point, you really need to ask yourself, is this legitimate or is this too good to be true? The number two way that is currently the rage is they will tell you to go buy gift cards, iTunes cards, Visa gift cards, MasterCard gift cards, Google Play cards. And I am here to tell you, especially if you have somebody representing themselves from an official agency, the Social Security Administration, the IRS, the Marshal's Office, Chelan County, government agencies do not accept iTunes cards, Google Play cards as payment. We just don't. Anytime, if you hear those two things, please stop at that moment and say to yourself, I remember Detective Drolet, and he said this is a scam. Because it is at that point. If there is a genuine official who needs to get a hold of you, if the IRS needs to get a hold of you, think back to all the times the IRS has dealt with you, which is pretty much once a year, and they do what? They send you a letter. They don't just call you up out of the blue. You get a letter. You've got time to go to your accountant and get all your receipts. In these situations, there really isn't that sense of urgency that they work so hard to create. So that becomes another tell. If somebody's presenting something to you, whatever it is, that lottery that you have to pay $5,000 right now. With a lottery scam, you want to ask yourself, did I buy a ticket? Because you can't win a lottery without entering it. And we've had a lot of people who have come to me. I've sat across the desk from many people, many more than I would ever expect. And that was something they told me was, but I won. And I would ask them, but did you buy a ticket? Did you submit an entry? Did you send them a box top? How do you enter this mystical lottery over here? So these are questions you got to ask yourself as you start moving forward in any of these scams. With the payment options, we do have the ability, if you get through, you get scammed on the phone, and that's most likely how you're going to get contacted because it's a pretty simple way to work and it's real easy to hide your original identity. If you get scammed and you go to the point where you've made payment, that's where you need to recognize it quickly and act quickly. If you're able, you can go to the FTC website, the Federal Trade Commission, and plug in to their website. They have a wonderful section with about 30 pages of check sheets on what to do for a number of different scams. And it's great advice, super easy to follow. If you don't remember that, and you feel like you've been scammed and you got to that point where you're making a payment, you can also, within about 24 hours, this is a very time-critical piece of information, when you recognize the scam, to call. So if you put money into Western Union, you went up to Walmart and gave them money and said, I need to Western Union this money, you have about a 24-hour window where if you realize it, you can call Western Union and say, this is a fraudulent transfer, reverse the funds. You will be out a service fee because they are providing a service, but you will get the bulk of your money back. But again, and I can't stress this enough, it is time critical. More than 24 hours, your money is probably out of their system. With respect to gift cards, I have one right here. A gift card doesn't have a name on it. It's not assigned to an individual. It is just assigned to a financial institution. So you buy the gift card, or you receive the gift card, and it's literally worth whatever amount of money is on it. Once this gets used, we have about 4 hours is a safe bet where I can access and try to get you your money back. And again, this comes down to you as a consumer recognizing this is a fraudulent transfer, and if you flip it over on the back side, you'll see that there's a 1-800 number somewhere on the back side, and that's where you would call. Computer scams, phone scams. As we all start using more and more technology, you get to see these things. I've worked quite a few cases recently where on the computer, somebody's at home, they're working, and this may have happened to some of you, and suddenly you get what's called a dialog box. You're typing away and bing, this thing just pops up on your screen. And it says, Microsoft is aware, this is not exactly what it says, it'll say something like this. Microsoft is aware, or we've detected a virus on your computer. Click here or call this number. It's going to be one of the two. The challenge here is most of us are not supercomputer literate. And I don't want to tell somebody that they're not smart, but I fall into that boat myself. And you click on that button, and now you are granting whoever's at the other end access to your computer. In the event that you get one of those dialog boxes, I would encourage you, if you think your computer has a virus on it, and you want to believe that box, shut it down. Disconnect it from power, take it off the internet at home or your Wi-Fi network, close the lid. We've got a number of great local businesses that you can support where they can take a look at your computer and do a scan on it, and you are talking to somebody right there. And they will tell you if there is a virus on your computer. What happens if you click on that link, that hyperlink, or you call that number and you allow somebody remote access to your computer? I can honestly tell you is nothing good. It ranges from what's called ransomware, where they lock up your computer and they tell you you have to send them a check for X number of $1,000 or they're going to take all your data, to where they drop a program on so that they can see all your keystrokes, where that's how they get your passwords, and now they know your bank and the account information, and then you're calling me going, I don't understand how my checking account got drained. Absolutely the best advice I can give you if you get one of those dialog boxes is do not click on it. Do not call their number. If they represent themselves as Microsoft or Apple, feel free to call Microsoft or Apple. With respect to the phone, besides a voice call where they tell you that something's wrong, you can also have an application. And typically these are with the dating websites, with the social media. It's a situation where you are looking to connect with somebody else, and a scammer can take that and run with that opportunity. They will reach out to you. They will present themselves as somebody that they're not, and they will sell you a story about all the terrible things going on in their life, and you can help them out. And that's what they're trying to do. They can, personally, I have seen this. I have not worked the case because I really lack the skill, I'm not going to lie, where they drop what's called a Trojan. It's another application, and they will install it on your phone. And again, it allows them to access different parts of your web, not your web, but different parts of your phone. And if you're anything like I am, you probably have a credit card number or two on your phone. You've got who knows how many passwords. I can't keep track of every website that needs a password. But if somebody got on my phone, they'd have a field day, because you probably have a club card to Safeway, Fred Meyer, Albertsons, Walmart. And what's in there? All your information: name, address, phone number, email. If they can get into all that, now they can call Safeway and say, hey, my name is Kirk, and I lost my club card, and I need to reset my club card information. Can you mail that to me? Can you reset it? And they put their password on it. I may not even know because I'm using it off my phone and they have access to my phone. They can reset it on there, wouldn't miss a beat. And then if you're using Apple Pay or Samsung Pay, or I don't even know some of the other ways to pay where you store your credit card information on your phone, actually storing your card information on your phone is comparatively secure. It's when you get to the store to use it that we get that transaction where that information comes out of the secure box in your phone, and you have that moment where it's transferring to the store, and that's where our scammers, if they're good, that's where they can access it. So the scams targeted at seniors really are the sweetheart scam. That's where when you're older and a spouse or significant other has passed away and now you're looking for somebody else who's got similar interests, be very, 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 very careful on any of the adult dating sites. The next scam that is 100% targeted towards seniors is the grandchild scam, the grandkids scam. That one is, they're really playing on your sense of family, that a family sticks together, that we take care of ourselves. And oh, by the way, don't tell mom and dad because it's really embarrassing. Again, that is really driven. They're hoping that your family is large and scattered across the country. And again, if you get that call, it's worth a phone call to ask, if they call and say, "Hi, I'm John, I'm in Atlanta and I just got arrested and I need $5,000 bail." Okay, John, that's cool. I'm going to call your parents and have a chat. You don't have to tell the parents necessarily that, you just took this phone call. You can definitely call them, they're your kids, and say, "Hey, how are you? How are you doing? How are your children doing? Where are they now?" That will answer your question a lot better and a lot cheaper than sending that money out. The last one that's really, really targeted towards seniors, again, is that lottery scam. That's the one where they're hoping to find somebody who's in a financial, they got a little bit of money, not a lot, and they want more, which I think pretty much describes all of us. And they're trying to convince you won something you've never heard of. But again, if it's a random draw, you've got to understand, at some point you have to enter it. And United States law and Washington state law says if it's a lottery, it has to be clearly identified as a lottery. You have to have an entry form. Now, it's not necessarily something you write out, but there has to be a described method of entry. You can't just randomly pull people's names and then give them a call and say, "You won." When you think about that in a rational moment, how do you get the prize pool together if nobody's paying an entry fee? Those are the ones that are really targeted towards seniors. The official scam, somebody calling in calling you at home. And I personally had somebody call me on my work cell phone and tell me they were with the United States Social Security Service, which sounds really impressive, doesn't exist, and that my Social Security number was being inactivated. And they had a little bit of an accent, and of course I tried to play along with them and ask them, "So what's going on?" They'll call anybody. If you pick up the phone, they're going to talk to you. If you gave your phone to a 3-year-old toddler, they would have a conversation with them. They don't care. But those first three, the sweetheart scam, the grandkid scam, the lottery scam, those are really targeting seniors, and they're really trying to get you to buy into the fact that this is something you need to deal with now. So the utility scam's a variation of the official scam. That's where somebody calls you up and they say, "I'm with Chelan County PUD, I'm with Douglas County PUD, and you're X number of months behind on your utility bill." If they're calling a business, They will try to get you to take cash out of the till and go buy, ready for this, a gift card. If you're a citizen, they're going to try to get you to wire money to them. And again, now we come down to that payment. One of the indicators that this is a fraud. I want a gift card. I want you to wire me. If you get to that point, that is a major, 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 major red flag. At that point, you say, all right, phone's dying. Everybody's Apple phone dies. Don't worry about it. Hang up on them. It's a great time to pick up the phone and call who they said they're from. Call the PUD. Because the PUD is not going to call you at 10 p.m. No offense, your business is important to them, but not that important. Their billing crew works normal business hours. And if there is an issue and they call you, there is no problem, and it doesn't matter if it's the PUD, Waste Management, City of Wenatchee. If somebody calls up and says, we're with the City of Wenatchee, we're going to turn off your water unless you send me $500 in Google Play cards. That's okay. It's okay to say, right, hang on, my phone's dying. I'll get back to you. Hang up, pick up the phone, call the city and say, hey, it's my water getting turned off. It's so much better if you take that one step because you will save yourself a lot of money. If something comes up on your phone, and I know we're all attached to our phones, I understand. But you can walk into any number of different places and have them check your phone rather than letting some criminal get in there and lock it down. There are so many different scams out there. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of information to work with so that you can go through this holiday time, enjoy the time with your loved ones, keep your hard-earned money with you and them, and not give it up to some scammer who's drinking an umbrella drink in some sort of a Caribbean island. They don't need your money. Hang on to it yourself. I'd like to thank you for watching this, and hopefully you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.